Omori, welcome to the 25th day of drawing fan art every single day for a whole year. 365 days, and we are on the 25th day. We're getting close to the end of the first month. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited to get a month behind me and then just mentally be like, okay, I have 12 more of these to go. I've described this mindset to people before, and they call it like the I don't know, like what you do when you're at work. It's like when you're at work and you're like, oh, I've been here for 2 hours. Okay, just, 4 more of these chunks and I can go home. That's kind of how I feel with this. Still having fun, you know? Don't want to give that, deception that I'm like not having fun. I am having fun, but it is very difficult. It's effort maxing for sure. If you guys want to help me, seriously, just dropping comments, likes, and subscribes is actually so helpful. Suggesting games is fun. The other day, someone from the Utah Smash community, Gonzo, posted, said something like, "Can you draw Dracovish or whatever, that Pokemon?" I don't know if I will, but it's at least something where I'm like, oh, people are like paying attention to this, It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like what I'm doing is not just for myself, but also for like random other people who are just viewing at a distance. And I like that. I like that. Is that okay? Another thing is the Dracovish thing. Is that like a meme? I feel like anytime I do anything related to Pokemon, someone's like, draw Dracovish or Fish. I don't know how to say this character's name. Is it like a joke? I feel like it's some sort of inside joke that I'm not a part of. I don't know. Anyways, Omori. So the idea here is I'm drawing the dream version of Omori, which I guess is just called Omori, I think. In that first little room, like he's chilling in white space at the start of the game, and then he goes into like this sensory overload room. And something I've been like not struggling with, something I've learned a lot while doing this challenge, because if you guys don't know, I'm not much of a background drawer. Before this, I like exclusively drew characters. I like never drew backgrounds. So I'm learning a lot about backgrounds and their relationship with like the subject and stuff like that. Is it can get confusing when the subject doesn't pop enough. And ironically, like usually what I do is colorful characters and then like kind of boring, bleak backgrounds. For this one, I could just do the background super exciting and colorful, and then Omori is just black and white. Like it's pretty perfect, honestly. I really liked it. Still was having trouble with proportions. I think it took me a while to get Omori's proportions really where I wanted them. But it's not perfect the way it is right now, but it's pretty good. It's not bad. So I've been playing Metaphor Refantasio. A couple days ago, I was like kind of complaining about how I bought this game and I just never opened it. I never even like started it, and I bought it like maybe a month ago, to be honest. With these bigger, like I would say like 90-hour games or even like 60-hour games or above, it's so hard for me to be like, okay, I'm going to commit. I'm going to open this game because I feel like it's like the end of my life. Me playing it is like sacrificing all my free time to it. And I will say, actually, kind of true. Metaphor Refantasio has a very weird save system. You can't just pause the game and save anywhere. It has to be like in very specific parts of the game. I remember yesterday, because I was playing it yesterday. I was like, okay, I'm going to just play until 4 o'clock and then I'm going to get off. I started at like maybe like 1 p.m. or something. And then I was like, okay, yeah. At 4 o'clock, I'm going to get off. 4 o'clock came around and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to get off. I pause. The save button is like grayed out. I'm like, okay. So then I keep playing and I'm like, okay, I beat all the like characters in this area. And I was like, nope, still not. So I had to keep going. I ended up playing for 40 extra minutes. 40 minutes. That's crazy. 40 minutes without being able to save a game is wild. I really, really don't like that. That's probably the biggest detractor for the game so far. Besides that, I'm actually loving the game. I do. I love it. It gives me, I always do this. I always say this when I play like JRPGs, but it's given me like what's that game called? Fire Emblem Three Houses vibes. Somehow I always relate to JRPGs to some Fire Emblem game. But yeah, JRPGs, I'm not like super well versed in. I've been meaning to get into Final Fantasy for a while. I actually made a list. I'm gonna talk about this list. You guys know me, Mr. List Guy. I will make a list about literally anything. But I did some research on every Final Fantasy game. I have not played a single one. I've made a list about all of them, and I ranked them on how much I think I would like them. I'm just going to say their numbers, and the order is going to be 1 to 14. 15 and 16 on my slots are for the MMO games. It's 11 and 14. But yeah, we're going to go from 1 to 14. It'll be a little bit confusing because it's just a bunch of words. Letters. But I'll just go off it really, really quick. Okay. Number 1, 15. Number 2, 4. Number 3, 7. Number 4, 16. Number 5, 6. Number 6, 8. Number 7, 1. Number 8, 13. Number 9, 9. Number 10, 10. Number 11, 12. Number 12, 2. Number 13, 5. Number 14 is 3. Now that's just going to be, it won't make any sense to anybody who doesn't know Final Fantasy. And also that's just going to be a whole bunch of nothing. Like that was just like a very confusing series of words with all the lettering. But I don't know. I did some research. 15 is like this open world, like road trip type vibe. And I love road trips in real life so much. I've seen some of the set pieces. There's like a giant turtle. It just seems so fun. Like I've heard that there's some weird like corporate placements, and that type of shit like pisses me off so much. So I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up not liking it for that reason. But it was hard for me to put anything above that. Yeah. This started with ReFantasio. I'm going to go back and talk about ReFantasio a little bit more. If you don't know, it's by the same people that made Persona. So there could be a lot of like similar shit for Persona, but I have not played a single Persona game. This is my first Atlas RPG. But I don't know. It's been great. It's been great. I seriously love every single named character that has been introduced so far. I'm not good with like fantasy names, but Stroll is like he's like your noble friend. He's like from a famous family or something. And I don't know, he's just so swaggy. I really like him. He like sticks up for you a little bit in the start, and then you it's like you can choose whether you say things or not. But I just started like dick riding heavy. I was like, dude, this guy's my guy. Every single chance I got, I was like, yeah, that's my guy. Someone like insulted Stroll in game, and I was like, hey, back off, buddy. They speak all old fashioned like, so they're like, if it's a fight you want, draw blade then, or something like that. I love it. I love their their way of speaking in this game. Another thing. Hold on, I want to talk about a different thing about the speech actually really quick. There's this like red-haired girl that I haven't met since the start of the game, but I'm sure she comes back. I think I've seen pictures where she's in the game or something later on. But she like kills some bandits, and she's like, what does she say? She says, "If you draw steel, you must be ready to die by it then," or something that was like, damn, that's witty as fuck. If this was like old timesy mode, that would be like number one most witty response to bandits taking all your shit ever. She's badass. But this brings me to my other thing where I'm like, I don't like fantasy games. Like I don't like fantasy settings. The biggest example is anime. I think anime ruined fantasy for me. Like every genre of fantasy now, I just don't like. And it started with isekai. But Metaphor actually does it in an interesting way. Like at the start of the game, it like tells you a fantasy story, and then it's like, is this stupid? Like, are you able to? It essentially asks you in a lot more words than I'm going to. Here's the fantasy story. Do you think that fantasy is fucking stupid? And I answered yes. And I feel like it plays with that. Like it kind of teaches you like, yeah, it's kind of silly, like this stupid fantasy world. It poses the fantasy of our world into the fantasy of their world. And then the characters in that world are like, that's fucking dumb. Like nothing is that idealistic. And yeah, it's like, it's supposed to make you draw parallels. And listen, when I heard this whole game was about racism, I was like, okay, that's a little bit overworked is all I'm going to say. It's a little bit overworked, the fantasy equals racism thing. But I think that they do it in a pretty good way. Not like a way that's going to blow me away or like make any racist person not racist. But it does like sort of push it in your face to be like, why are you not able to take this fantasy setting seriously when there are things that you can compare it to in real life? I think it's nice. I think it's pretty good. But we'll see how it ends up. Right now, I'm really not playing it for its social commentary at all. I'm playing it for how many characters I already fucking love, and I'm 3 hours in. There seems to okay. I'll save that point for the review actually, because I need to like tactfully figure out how to say it. But I'll just say it because I mentioned it. I think that there maybe should have been like a dating sim aspect to the game. Okay, cutting in here. This conversation got way too cringe for me, and I cut it out. Listen, guys, I have opinions, and I need to like formulate them in a way that's more careful and not just like off the cuff. But yeah, the characters are charming. And I think that there is a lot of, a chemistry between characters that could be explored a little bit more. That's all that I was really going to say, But I think that some people take it too far. Specifically, I come from the anime community. Anime people are really hard to talk to when it comes to like waifu culture, basically. Like, I wish more people understood how corny or cringe, just bad a lot of these conversations come out as. But yeah, so that's why I cut out what I was talking about, because it was not careful enough. Anyways, we're at the end of the drawing pretty much. Loved this one. I think I wasn't so crazy about it while I was drawing it, but it came out fantastic. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, support me in any way that you can. Check out those links in the description. Bye.